Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the Summit, which is the finale for Superstars Icon series, and I'm going to give you my quick take on this and the related showdown. First of all, 6 lock-ins, but really 5 lock-ins to win the 6th car, and the final lock-in is the prize car itself. Lock-in number 1 is always the easiest to get a car for, but it won't get you very far. The rule for this is always the same. Lock in your fully maxed car, whatever it may be. Even if it's a lower tier, you still want a fully maxed car over a partially built car for the most part. However, do not use really crappy cars like the Viper Snakeskin, or I would generally also try to avoid tier 3, tier 2 if you have at least a good tier 4 or 5 to use. Starting with lock-in number 2, you now have to use very specific cars such as LFA for this one, the Gold Star version, the Purple Star Flash version, or the Nürburgring Prize version all work. For lock-in number 3, the V12 Vantage, which is the recent prize car from this series, and lock-in number 4, the MC20, which is the Flash car, or the Chiron Pure Sport, which is the prize car. You can use either one. I happen to have bought the MC20, so I will be using that. And lock-in number 5 is where things get more interesting. To my knowledge, you can use 2 particular cars for this. The OS Carbon Edition is the only one that shows up, but on Nitro's account, when I looked at this event, the regular Purple Star 003S also shows up as an option. I don't know if that's an actual option or that's just something that the developers kind of overlooked. That's an old car. That car goes back to 2018, 2019. It's a Purple Star. I believe you could purchase it back then, and not everybody has that. I certainly do not, but that's an option as well. To get this car, though, and this is a 5th lock-in to win the prize car, which is lock-in number 6, you're going to need to go to the related showdown. And the showdown's right here, all the way up on the top in case you missed it earlier. And this one allows you to use a bunch of cars as well. And most likely, out of the ones you can have available from the get-go, I would say your best shot is probably the MC20, and maybe after that, use the V12 Vantage, or if you have the 003S, not the Carbon Edition, I believe that's also available to be used. So again, those are the cars you would be looking at as probably your top choice. I would think the MC20 might be the fastest to start until you start to see a bunch of these guys in the lobby. So as typical of these events, at 1300 trophies you will get the car, so it's at 1300. And as you know from experience, that on day 1 you're probably not going to make it very far with a slower car. You're going to need the Apex car, you're probably going to need it fully maxed, then you're going to need to know how to drive it to get the prize car on day 1. But after a few days, you will slowly have the slower car shifting towards 1300, and if you have the patience, you can get there. The only thing is you're probably going to want to get all the way through lock-in 4 here, which incidentally, lock-in number 1 is around race 5, number 2 is 16, number 3, 29, number 4, 41. So 41 to about, where are we at with lock-in number 5? So you're going to get to race 55, and you should wait here while you get that car, because after you get it, it's a few days or even a week or 2 later, you need to build this car and then rush through the rest of this. Now, knowing how these events work, I'm going to tell you right now, you will get to race 79, 80 without much of an issue. And then you're going to start having problems if your cars are not closer to fully built. Particularly when you get to the end here, this relay might not be that bad. It's probably a 2-car. That's probably a 2-car, 3-car relay. But here's the problem: is these 2 are going to be tough races, most likely for that Carbon Edition, and they're not going to be easy to get through. So expect this car to be pretty well built to make it through these 2, and the final relay isn't likely to be all that easy. The speed trap here may be difficult for whatever car ends up being that particular challenge, especially if it's this 2, one of these 2, or that one. And other than that, I think this one might be challenging depending on which car they make you use. But outside of that, your real challenge probably comes somewhere near the end here. 96, 7, 8, 9, 10 is where they're going to try to stop you, and hope that you're so out of resources and other options that you'll spend some money. In the end, all these big events expect players to try to pull some money out of their pocket to make it through, unless you just happen to have everything fully maxed, which is rare. But that's how the developers make a living, so that's how these events are designed. So know what you're getting into. Is the prize car any good? Yes, the prize car is actually pretty good. It's a low performance point, high evo Ferrari, one of the few in the game, in fact, because generally Ferraris hasn't been very good. I'm sure the Pista, can be down-tuned, but so can many other Ferraris. But a true low performance point, high evo Ferrari, that's not really in the game yet. The Enzo comes close, but it's kind of a mediocre low performance point, high evo car. And this one looks like it's going to be better. So yes, the prize car is decent. Is it worth all the resources for a newer player? No. These events are coming one after the other. So there'll be plenty of great cars out there coming, and you'll have plenty of opportunities to build your garage. In fact, our recent DBX milestone car is such a good live racer that you don't really need this car. You can go into lobby with that and do just fine. So as a newer player, consider what resources you're going to have to get to make it through these, and understand the events never give you enough. So if you don't have to, or you're not desperate for this car, I would hold off and just wait for the next event or future events to try to push yourself. Veteran players are probably going to go for it, but free-to-play players may run into some issues making it through as well. So that is essentially the finale here. I think, one, the prize car is worth an attempt on my part, because quite honestly, it's rare for these prize cars to be actually decent. So I'm going to go for it, and I will eventually have a video on the last probably 10-20 races to show you guys the difficulties. And then finally, I will do a live racing setup for the Ferrari once I have it in my possession. So that is my take on this event. Generally speaking, no different than any other finale. Expect it to get difficult near the end. Expect these cars to have to be pretty well built. So definitely think ahead. Look at your fusions. Look at your gold, cash, and other resources before you dive head in and get stuck somewhere around race 78 or 80 and then be frustrated. All right. If you have any comments or any other information you would like to share, feel free to do so. It always helps the other viewers and players when they can look at comments to see answers they may have themselves. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and would like to get notified when I put up new videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and you'll get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.